Hey, what is going on, guys? Welcome to a new series of videos that I'm going to be doing on this channel. I'm going to be talking a little bit about the writers of Doctor Who and the stories that they have written and ranking them and then putting them against each other at the very end. So we're going to start with the lesser writers, not the showrunners, but the writers underneath the showrunners. And we're going to start with Mark Gatiss. Mark Gatiss has been a regular writer for Doctor Who ever since Doctor Who returned in 2005. His last contribution being he played the Brigadier's grandfather in the last episode, Twice Upon a Time. That got me thinking, what is my favourite Mark Gatiss stories that he's written? We're going to discuss that today. So as far as I can tell, there have been 9 stories that Mark Gatiss has written over the 10 series since Doctor Who returned in 2005. And at number 9 we have Night Terrors. This is a Matt Smith story from series 6. I'm not really a fan of it, to be honest with you. I don't really like the dolls come to life. I mean, I like my Doctor Who dark, but that's just creepy. There are some funny scenes in it though, with that old woman gets thrown into the garbage. So yeah, and the guy with the dog when he gets sinked into the carpet. But a good concept, but I just don't think it really worked. But still, it's it's a decent enough story. It worked for the series 6 overall story arc of River killing the Doctor. I mean, it was an interesting concept that an alien came to Earth and needed, gave this mother what she needed, what she wanted was a child. So on that front, it's a good story, but the dolls and stuff is, for me personally, I just didn't like it very much. Number 8, I have Sleep No More. This is a episode from series 9. Peter Capaldi episode, when they go to a station, space station or laboratory, space laboratory station. It was interesting to see a Doctor Who monster like the Sandmen or the Sleepmen. I think it was a very brave thing to write. The way it was filmed, I think it would have been better if it was differently filmed from, instead of everybody's sort of head cams, sort of like a vlog thing. But it was interesting, but we've already seen that kind of Doctor Who before with Love and Monsters. So and that wasn't really a big, people don't tend to rate that very high. But yeah, Sleep No More, it was brave of him to write something like that. But ultimately, I just don't think it worked, especially for the Series 9 story arc, which was the hybrid. And at number 7, I have Victory of the Daleks from Series 5, Matt Smith episode. It was interesting to see new Daleks, different color Daleks. It certainly brought the attention to the story. I'm a big fan of the Doctor going into the past and meeting sort of historical characters, like Agatha Christie and stuff like that. But going to meet Winston Churchill, I think the guy who played Winston Churchill done a very good job. I think Matt Smith was very good in it as well. The first Daleks that we see in that story, I like them. It's just the color-coded Daleks or whatever. It was a good idea. I just don't think it worked that well for the Daleks, because obviously they are the supreme race and they don't want to change much. But again, a brave story that Mark Gatiss wrote, but ultimately, it fit into the story arc of series 5. So but yeah, I just don't think it really worked as a standalone episode. So, in at number 6, I had The Crimson Horror. I actually do quite like this one. Just Sweetville. I do enjoy watching that. Mr. Sweet I thought was really kind of weird, but I do like the old lady in that, like the whole town in that. So yeah, it's very interesting. You know, Jenny and Vastra and Strax are in it too. So yeah, I like that trio. I like the Paternoster gang, if that's how you pronounce it. And I really think that Jenny done a good job in this one. You get to know a bit more about her character, I think. And the Doctor I thought was very good. Matt Smith was very good in this, and Jenna Coleman I thought as well was very good. And you know, at the end, it fit into the Series 7 sort of story arc as well. So it took me a long time to figure out what the Series 7 story arc was in this. The Impossible Girl and the Great Intelligence. But yeah, The Crimson Horror, I thought was pretty good. Matt Smith has a great northern accent though. But of course the Doctor's had a northern accent before with Christopher Eccleston, and the Doctor has now got a northern accent again with Jodie. So yeah, I did like Ava though. She was pretty cool in it. Her performance was pretty good. She eventually kills that leech thing, Mr. Sweet. Yeah. At number 5, I have The Idiot's Lantern. Initially, I go back and forth with this episode. I like it. It's just the feed me gets really kind of irritating, but that's just the way that character was made. But yeah, I did like the fact of going back in time to the coronation of Queen Elizabeth II, and I thought David Tennant was brilliant in it. The part where he brings up Cliff Richard I thought was hilarious. I thought your mother would be a Cliff fan. So you learn something there. It's a Union Jack only when it's at sea. If it's flying alone, it's just a Union flag. So yeah, I do enjoy watching this episode. It's an interesting concept as well. The Wire, an interesting Doctor Who monster. Again, very brave by Mark Gatiss, I thought. Yeah. Number 4, I have from Series 8, Robot of Sherwood. Again, going back in time, meeting, you know, legends, myths, fables of, you know, English, British history. Robin Hood. It was interesting to see a Doctor Who spin on the Robin Hood story. Peter Capaldi I thought was pretty good in it. Clara was okay in it, I thought. But the guy who played Robin Hood I thought done a very good job, and his merry men. I thought it was very interesting. And the sheriff with his robots of death. It was an interesting look at a, you know, historical story or myth, fable. I don't even know if it's true or not, but the Robin Hood story. I believe it is, but that's just me. But yeah, a very good spin on the Robin Hood story, the Doctor Who style. The fight on the bridge between Robin Hood and his dagger and the Doctor and his spoon. Oh, that was hilarious. I'm the Doctor and this is my spoon. But yeah, very good. Again, another brave story by Mark Gatiss. Number 3, Cold War from Series 7. Very, very interesting how they brought the Ice Warriors back to Doctor Who. This was a very good episode for that. I think that Matt Smith played a very good part. I think that Jenna Coleman played a very good part in it. And the Cold War feeling, I think, was very much captured in this story. And yeah, I do like the Ice Warriors. They're not my favourite Doctor Who monster, but they're probably top 10, top 8 maybe. Yeah, but I thought Skaldak I thought was pretty cool, and obviously it says that the Doctor says that he hasn't never seen an Ice Warrior outside of his armour before. So that was interesting to see, sort of military tactics there. And again, another brave story that Mark Gatiss wrote. I thought it was very brave on us in bringing the Ice Warriors back, because they are one of the, they're not the iconic Doctor Who monster, but they are one of the less, not the most iconic, but sort of the next level down. You really associate the Ice Warriors with sort of Patrick Troughton's day. But yeah, I did enjoy the way they brought this back on a submarine and everything. And the end I thought was very brilliant, when Scarlet just let them go. So in at number 2 we have another Ice Warrior story from series 10, Empress of Mars. I do enjoy this story, even though I don't really get why Nardole goes back to university, but hey, I think it's probably sort of intertwined with the Missy Master story arc. But Empress of Mars is a very enjoyable watch. Obviously it's a throwback to Tooth and Claw with Queen Victoria and her picture there. Pauline Collins' picture on the wall is Queen Victoria. I thought that was pretty good. At number 1, guys, I have The Unquiet Dead, the first one that Mark Gatiss wrote. I do love this episode. Charles Dickens is my favourite writer of books wise. I did love the Gelf. I thought they were pretty cool. The way that they done it with the CGI lighting and stuff, I thought that was very interesting. Eve Miles, I think done a great job in this. And the guy who played Mr. Sneed, not Captain Hook Sneed, but Mr. Sneed, I thought it was pretty well done. Set in Cardiff, but it wasn't actually filmed in Cardiff. It was filmed in Swansea. So yeah, this story for me is Mark Gatiss's best story that he has written. I think Christopher Eccleston in this done a very, very good job. His character sort of started to develop in this, I think, because he'd already done a story set in the present and a story set in the future. So this was his first historical episode, and I thought he was absolutely brilliant. Or pardon the pun, but he was fantastic. But yeah, Mark Gatiss done a very good job at writing this, and it's a very good idea about bringing a new kind of monster to Doctor Who, a new kind of villain. They sort of lost their homeworld in the Time War. The Doctor kind of felt guilty about that. So yeah, The Unquiet Dead for me is Mark Gatiss's best story. But I want to know, guys, what's your favourite Mark Gatiss story? Let me know in the comments below. And until next time, guys, always try to be nice, never fail to be kind.